Today I am going to be answering one of your art questions about contracts. Hi, I'm Lisa, the artist behind Lachri Fine Art. I have a frequently asked questions page over on my website. If you cannot find the answer to your question there, there's a section where you can submit your own question for one of these videos. Today's question comes from Michaela, who asks, "Hello Lisa, I was wondering about artist contracts for when you sell commissions. What do you put in them so you're protected? How do you get online clients to sign or agree to a contract when they can't physically sign it? Would you have to do an online form that says I agree to the terms and conditions? If so, how do you go about that? Any help would be appreciated. Thank you." First, I have to say, I am not a lawyer. I can't give legal advice. I can, however, tell you what it is that I personally do when it comes to this. And I do recommend, when you get very serious about this, it is a good idea to talk to a lawyer and have them help you come up with a decent contract. I don't typically use contracts myself. Everything that I do, all of the communication that I do with most clients is done through email. So I've got everything that they've agreed to in writing. Everything is right there. So if a problem did arise, I do have that to use. Now, in the email, I'm very clear about what the end price is going to be, how long it's going to take me to finish this, what any shipping costs might be. All of that is all spelled out in those emails. The person has to agree to all of this and then pay a deposit that is non-refundable, that is generally paid through PayPal. They pay that deposit, which basically confirms, yes, this is what I want. I agree to these terms. So for me, that is what I do, and I do recommend always have a deposit paid before you ever start a commission. I know as artists, it's easy to get excited. We need that income. We want that job. We don't want to push that person away, but I cannot tell you how many times people will contact you and want you to paint or draw something, and when it comes time for them to pay for it, they don't want to. I think most artists have it happen to us at least once. I do have a video giving you some tips if you are getting started with commissions, so definitely check that out. But that deposit is going to save a lot of hassle, because if they're not serious enough to pay that deposit, then chances are they weren't going to pay for the finished product anyway. And that deposit has to be non-refundable. You need to state that in your contract or your emails as well. That is to cover your cost of supplies and your time. There's no question. It's not an issue of, well, I don't really like this painting, so I'm not going to pay. Well, that deposit is gone. You keep that deposit. Now, that sounds harsh, because what if you do a terrible job? Well, hopefully you're not doing a terrible job, and hopefully they've seen your work and know what to expect from you. Now, again, go back, check out that video, because I do have a lot of tips that talk about how to avoid having problems later on down the road when doing commissions. But as far as the contract goes, the email, you just need something in writing. You don't want to do everything over the phone where you have no proof whatsoever of what was said. If you do everything over the phone, then yes, you need that contract. If you do a Google search for artist contract or just contract template, there's so many things that'll come up. In that contract, you're going to want to state the same things that I'm doing in the email: what the cost is, what the time frame is, what the size is, all the details that are going to be in that painting need to be in that contract. Everything needs to be spelled out. And to get them to sign it, I just email it to them. They can then print it, sign it, scan it, and send it back to you. Or there are ways they can sign online or just write their name in. You really just need something in writing stating that they agree to those terms. Another thing that you're going to want to make sure is very clear is, do you allow for changes? There are a lot of people who are going to hire you, and it doesn't matter how exact and how great your painting is, they're going to want to come back and say, nope, this needs to be more blue, this needs to be wider, this needs to be taller. They'll make these adjustments. You need to be very clear. If you are going to allow those adjustments, how much money are you going to charge extra each time they make a change? That is a big deal. Those changes take time, which means you're not working on something else, which loses you money. So you do need to make sure that they know, are you going to allow 2 changes, and then after that, $50 per hour for every additional change, or $20 per hour, whatever it is. That all needs to be spelled out in your contracts or your emails as well. Basically, you just want to be very clear, very upfront. You need to know what you're going to charge. One thing that I see a lot of artists do is, oh, it's going to cost about $250. No, don't do this about $250. What is it going to cost? You know, if you're taking commissions, you should have a general idea of what amount of work is going to go into that painting. You can't be changing it on people. Besides the fact that doing that loses you a lot of sales, let them know, if this is the background that you want, this is the portrait that you want, this is what the fee will be. Be clear. Anytime you start doing, oh, it's gonna cost about $500, oh, it's gonna cost about this, that word about should not be anywhere in your conversation with this person. You need to have a set fee that they know and can expect. Otherwise, if later on you decided it was $75 more worth of work than you expected and you tell that person that, they are not going to want to pay you, and it's really going to build a bad name for yourself. But again, if you want to use a contract, just do a search for sales contract or custom order contract template online, and you will come up with tons and tons of things that you can use in your own business so that you do have that contract. Thanks for watching. If you're new to my channel, I have new video critiques every Tuesday where I'm critiquing your original paintings or drawings, my own speed paintings, drawings, and tutorials every Wednesday, social media tips for artists or art Q&A videos every Thursday, and artist vlogs every weekend. So if you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+. All of the social media sites are linked below in the video description where you can keep up with news, my newest work, and see real-time clips of whatever it is I'm currently working on. I'll see you guys in a few days.